high vibrations, sweet babies. Okay, it's been a while actually since I did a reading, but you wouldn't know that because I've been sharing some pre-recorded readings that I did throughout eclipse season. It was a time when I was really moved inward and really embracing the solitude. We were just peeking into the first few early days of spring, so sun was coming out but wasn't exactly warm by any means. So I am here today to share just a quick reading, and it's the same message that's just been coming through for me over and over again. And I was like, you know what, today I'm kind of low-key relaxing, day of rest, quite literally, because I have a few days here before my next tour stop, which is going fantastic, by the way. It has been so much fun, extremely creative. I've seen some awesome women who I haven't seen in a while, worked with some new people that I haven't worked with before, and of course some familiar faces. So yeah, tour has been amazing. But this reading isn't about me and my tour. It is about the messages that have been coming through a lot for me. And actually some of it was coming through for me while I was on tour. I literally had a reading that I was channeling into like on set one of the days, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like thank goodness I don't have my oracle cards with me, because I would literally stop what I'm doing right now and go shuffle just to see like if the universe is really grooving and moving along with me. But I didn't need to do that because I trust in the messages that I receive, whether I have my cards or not. That is something that I've made a really important practice for myself as of recently. And I feel encouraged to nudge you to do the same thing. I think right now is really a time for you to be very connected to your intuition and your inner guidance system. I was also nudged by Spirit to share, like, think about what you're expecting. Don't be afraid to think about your family or your future family if you don't have one, in order to make the decisions that you want to be making. I know that's super random, but that was just sort of a little preface to what I'm about to share with you, because I do believe that there is going to be a delivery of abundance. For some people, this might be a new project, a new idea, a new thing is birthed into life. For others, this might be literally related to a future family. Congratulations if that is you. But I'm really getting the energy here of something is on its way to you. There is a delivery, there's a blessing, there's an abundance from the divine that is on its way to you. And it is all about being in receptivity at this present moment to really make sure that when it arrives to you, you can really receive it, recognize it, and appreciate it. Here's my thing. It's going to come to you in a way that's a little unexpected. Here's what I'm feeling into. Here's my energy forecast for you, collective. Many of you probably relate to, if you're listening to this reading, whether you've been listening along through multiple readings or not, this one, collective, if you found your way here, I'm going to say confidently that you actually have this very strong warrior energy to you. It doesn't necessarily, it's not like the first thing people notice about you. It might not even be the second or third thing that people notice about you, but it's a quality that you possess. It's a quality that you're well aware of, and you know that you can tap into this strength and into this quality whenever you need to. It is there and it is accessible. For some of you, you may have been on a hero's journey of sorts where you had to learn how to actually step out of this mode rather than step into it, rather than needing to tap into this warrior-like side of yourself or needing to be strong and needing to whatever. What I actually feel is that might be more of your organic way of showing up And it was actually more so your journey to learn how to soften a bit, to learn how to not be ready for the fight. And I'm not seeing you, collective, as somebody who's aggressive, combative, confrontational, just out of sheer unconscious ability to really be grounded and discerning. No. What I see is that you are very much like a soldier. Like, you're very disciplined. You're very much someone who will fight the good fight. Now, because this is a quality that I feel like you may have had to do for loved ones, this was a role of sorts that you were initiated into. It feels sometimes unsafe to step outside of that role. It feels very natural and it feels very second nature to be strong, to be ready to fight, to be almost even abrasive at times, or to be cold, or to be maybe withdrawn, or to step up and say what needs to be said, even if it's not what people want to hear. And I think in a lot of ways, these qualities made you a really powerful person to fight for love. You know, they say, like, are you a lover or are you a fighter? And I think you're someone who realizes that in order to be a lover, you must fight for love. There's a lot of things in life that you just have to fight for, and it's not really, and that's your truth. Like, that is you as this role, as this person, maybe in your family systems, maybe even in your communities, whatever. Like, you have very much taken on the mindset and the role of somebody who's like, no, you can't choose if you're a lover or a fighter. You have to be willing to fight for things that you love. You just have this ability to recognize that if you really care about something, if you really love something, if you really want something, that comes with sometimes some kind of fight. Oh my gosh, a red-chested robin. I'm sitting here at a beautiful park. The sun, it's not quite sunset. It's not quite golden hour, but it's just nearing that. It is beautiful, sunny, clear blue skies day today. Happy Easter, friends, if you celebrate. And, or not even celebrate, I guess, recognize this holiday, right? I'm sitting here watching this red-chested robin. I saw a stork go by earlier. That was beautiful. I've had so many synchronistic things happening on tour. 222 was showing up incessantly. 777, 999, 888. So a little bit of different angel numbers were showing up, collective, for us. So that's fun and exciting. 555 showed up a few times, and 666. To me, it's giving abundance. It's giving fruitful. It's giving long lasting. It's giving and giving and giving, and you are ready to receive. And that's why I really have this feeling. It's like the flow was maybe backed up for us, collective, or felt stagnant, or felt even reversed in some ways during some of the transits and just overall life experiences that we were having collectively. But I do feel like this energy shifting, this lightness, this sweetness, this flow that is showing up for us again. Okay. So I'm just sitting here feeling like it's time for me to share on this whole you being a warrior for those you love, being the fighter, being the one who says the hard shit, being the one who has no problem putting a little bass in their voice. And maybe you are somebody who at one point did kind of go looking for a fight because you knew you had this ability in you to be a protector, to be an advocate. That is the biggest word. Advocacy is the whole reason I wanted to do this reading. So I decided I'm going to sit somewhere pleasant, watch the red-chested robins, and speak on this, because I think right now Spirit's asking you to step out of this role that's very familiar and very natural for you, and to fall into a new sort of dynamic in your community, in your situations, in your experience, in your relationships, whatever. Okay, because we had some big spectator energy going on, and by the time that this reading goes up, we'll have had another spectator reading going on, talking about unconscious energy, unconscious negative energy being kind of brought your way. And in this sort of way, there's just this, I don't know, what I was feeling energetically was that you have been faced with maybe some oppositional energy, strong opinions, maybe someone even casting negative things on your name, someone maybe even psychically attacking you, sending you really nasty, horrible things, wishing ill will onto you, right? And this is all going on an energetic, vibrational level. Maybe for some of you, you've had some instances where this has started to materialize. Mind you, I recorded that spectator reading that will be going up soon before this energy started showing up for me, and it has started materializing in the 3D, the physical, right? And I'm like, okay, yes. And I said this back many moons ago. I was like, you might have instances where this begins to materialize, but I do see this mainly staying in an energetic level. Okay? And it feels like this gnat, exactly, like this fucking buzzing, annoying, stupid gnat. I'm sorry, forgive my passion around this, but this is really the energy that I've been feeling into for us collective, where we're just kind of like, I shouldn't have to deal with this. You're a pest. You are clearly a pest. And it's like my ignore game is so strong right now. I am being asked continually, not by this person, but by my own morale and by my own character, to simply rise above this person and this person's antics, this person's mindset, this person's comments, this person's energy, the whole ass thing. It's taking physical energy now from you. And because it's taking more physical energy from you, it might even be draining you energetically a little bit more so. That might be your indicator that it is materializing into some kind of actual 3D tangible experience. So when this was going on, it was a lot of energy, onlookers, naysayers, people like in your orbit, but not necessarily having any exchanges or interactions. That might change. That might be subject to change. Now, you still are being asked not to act, not to react, right? And you know that you can. This is not about proving whether you can or cannot defend yourself. This is not about proving that you are stronger, smarter, more skillful, whatever. It's not about that. This will make sense with time. This will make sense the more that you do not put energy into this, and whatever this person is putting so much fucking energy into, trying to access you, trying to poke at your energy, trying to stir you, it's like this poking, right? And they know that if they continue and they might finally get that reaction from you, that is exactly the moment that they are waiting for. To then be able to say, see, that's exactly what I knew. I knew you were going to be like that. I knew you felt like this. I knew you were actually a bad person. I knew you were going to, and that's a very narcissistic tactic. It's a manipulative tactic that people use where they continue to poke, continue to say nasty things. Energetically, they might be doing it and weaken your defenses before you're even aware of it. But now, collective, y'all have been aligning with your truth. Y'all have been finding inner peace, connecting to your purpose, right? Now you're in a sense of personal power, and you're coming to this place of this third eye opening where you're like, yeah, no. No. I'm not letting you bring me out of my character, my peace. I can clearly see, right? I have clear seeing with this third eye, this energy center open, to know that that's exactly what you want from me. And I don't owe you anything on an emotional, energetic, physical level. You get no access to me. The more that you try to ignore this thing, the bigger it might get on their end. And I think this is where Spirit is asking you to fall into trust that you will have the same kind of advocacy that you have been given, or you have given, for all those that you love. All those years in your life where you played the advocate for people, whether they truly deserved it or truly people who were in need, who were really struggling, who were truly suffering, and you were there to advocate for them. This is where the scales will be balanced. You might be somebody who's struggling with maybe understanding if your karmic scales are balanced right now. I feel like you might be, collective, the type of people who are trying to consciously work through some inner wounding, inner healing, so that you are aware of the type of actions you're making that could throw off that balance, that could throw off that scale, that might come back around to you. You're seeing this now. And it's not even in a scary way. It's just like a yeah. If I do this, law of causality, that may happen. And because you're seeing now how on a deep universal level, that somehow the scales will always be just. What does that mean? Justified, justice. There will be justice, and you are being asked to put your faith to test and see if you can fall into trust that all of the advocacy that you have always given to others around you will come back to you. This person is going to call in an advocate, somebody who's going to speak on your behalf, somebody who's going to protect your honor, speak on your name in rooms that you're not in. This person is thinking about your best interest, whether they know you or not. This is someone who sees that there is an injustice happening, that someone is trying to tear you down or tear something down, take something from you, whatever their ill will is. And they are going to speak or act or think or whatever in your behalf. This is a really powerful thing for you, collective, because this is really the role that you have always found yourself in for other people and for those that you care about. And now, in this current time and space, you're being asked to soften. You're being asked to put down your armor. You're being asked to fall into trust that others recognize your worth as much as you have been learning to recognize your worth. This is when you fall into trust, where you understand that other people see your value, see what you actually bring to the table, see what, oh my God. The stork I can't even believe that I just saw this, because I was driving when I saw the stork and it was like downtown. And I was like, that's a stork flying above my car right now. And then I park over here at this park. Guess what just flew up with something in its mouth? Now, I would really love to see what's in its mouth, because that in itself It looks like a fish. Yeah, that looks like a fish. Oh, it's wiggling like a fish. Wow, friends. I'm really feeling as though I'm about to have some young people walk up to this car, so let's hope that they're not a rowdy bunch. I'm going to wrap this up here shortly, or maybe I'll take a pause and let them do their thing while this old lady over here sits and watches birds. I really just believe that your blessings, your abundance is very much tied right now to how much you let this situation tear you down. If you let it mean anything about you, if you let it make you question your sense of worth, your self-worth. And I'm just getting this very strong feeling that Spirit, the divine, is very much in this place of wanting to dismantle, wanting to tear down whatever force this is that's very much trying to make you feel negative or question your sense of self-worth. But not that it's a test. I won't say that it's a test, but I will say that it's probably asking you to challenge yourself and see how much you're able to really and truly show up in this new way that you've been working very diligently to show up in. Okay, they don't seem like a rowdy bunch. Okay, so carrying on with this reading, I am wrapping it up for you. This blessing in itself could be the advocate, the person who speaks on your behalf, the 222 on the timestamp, 2222 on the timestamp. That in itself could be the blessing. It could be this deep internal reminder that you are loved, you are valued, you are cared about, you are being seen and recognized for what you offer, what you bring to the table. But I believe that, yes, that in itself is a blessing, but there's a lot more abundance to be experienced after you tap into this or experience this. You may not even know that someone has been an advocate for you or speaking on your behalf, putting your name out there, someone working diligently to see you do better or to see you protected from negative forces, etc., etc. But that doesn't mean that it isn't happening. And I think that it's very important for you to just trust and believe that when you see some of this negativity either materialize or dematerialize, that there was some kind of divine intervention, if you will. Something was shifted, something energetically, because instead of feeding into this experience, instead of feeding into what should be, I would say, activating to this very warrior side of yourself, instead you are allowing yourself to fall into this softness, to fall into this really beautiful, divine, masculine sense of being still, of discerning, of recognizing when to rise above it and when to really fucking speak on something, dismantle something, break something down, get involved, and use whatever strengths you have. Okay? This is the key part to that hero's journey. That warrior journey that you've been on, of learning how to soften, of learning how to be not only a protector, but to be able to take off the armor and sometimes just put on the crown, to sit on your throne and to sit back and relax and know when someone who is in opposition is really worth the energy, worth the fight. You're being asked really and truly right now by Spirit to choose your battles, because you've worked very diligently and hard to not only be the person that you are today, but to also be surrounded by people who would fight for your honor, who would fight on your behalf. And this is not maybe something that you have felt very often in your life. While you may be somebody who was always an advocate or a protector or looking after other people, you may have very seldomly felt that same energy for your own behalf. And I know, warrior, it's not supposed to bother you. You're supposed to be strong. You're not supposed to need it. But it does bother you, doesn't it? There are times when it's just like, fuck, like, can't someone just, like, really just tell this person, like, hey, I'm not like that. It's not about that, whatever. But what I'm really feeling like is that actually this experience, while it's up leveling you and challenging you to stand tall, stand tall. That's how I know the reading is leaving. To stand tall in your kinghood, to stand tall in your queenhood, to stand tall in your personal power, and it's giving you an opportunity to strengthen this aspect of yourself. This feels like karma for somebody else. This is someone else's fucking karma. You do not have to get involved in someone else's karmic journey, because that's how you end up with all the fucking baggage and bullshit that you don't need on your plate. This is not your journey. What I feel is though this is an initiation process for probably two other people outside of yourself, the advocate and the person who is the spectator, the onlooker, the naysayer, the blah, 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 someone who just constantly wants to bring other people down. And I have talked about this a lot, especially in Bambi to Bombshell. Stolen power is not empowerment. Putting other people down, trying to steal someone else's power when they are below you or feel below you, or there's some kind of like pedestal or power dynamics at play. Stolen power is a quick high that bullies most of the time get, but it doesn't actually fill any type of hole. It doesn't actually make them feel any better about themselves. It just makes them feel this rush, this little woohoo, I made someone else feel as shitty as I feel about myself all the fucking time, every day of my life. People who are confident, people who are strong in their sense of self, people who have sense of self-worth, people who love themselves, don't talk shit about other people, and that's just a fucking fact. People who actually have confidence don't feel the need to tear other people's confidence down. I'm sorry, those two are just, they're unable to be, it doesn't happen. It's not a thing. So, what I'm feeling into, like I said, this is not your karma. This feels like someone else's karma of them not being empowered, feeling like they have to tear someone else down. They have to make you feel small. And they really tried to do this whole onlooker thing. Like, I'm watching you, I'm looking, I'm watching you. Maybe even an intimidating sort of feeling. It didn't work. Or maybe it did a little bit, but you were like, wait, hold on. I just forgot who the fuck I am. No, it's not. You really thought you were going to try to like make me feel small. Do you know who the fuck I am? That's the energy. That's the fucking tweet. You really want to try and like knock me down and like make me feel worse about myself. But all I can help but think is how sad you are. You must be so sad. So, this is also initiating this advocate, this person here to step up and realize, okay, there's an injustice. This advocate is being called into their warriorhood. This is that person being called into a new role for themselves that, now listen, this is how karma works, okay? You don't necessarily get to see it for the full perspective. You might not always have that bird's eye view, right, that we've talked about in a couple past readings to see how this all really will play out. I mean, it's nice to have some channeled energy readings to maybe give you insights, but it's okay to not know how this will all play out. In fact, the more you detach from how all of it will play out, the better the outcome will be for you. Because as you detach from this spectator energy, as you detach from the need to even protect yourself, be discerning. I'm not sitting here telling you to let people dog you or talk down on you or whatever, but this just does not feel worth your energy. You have a sense of self-worth to be like, it's not worth it. I learned all of this stuff. I went through Venus fucking retrograde. Did you, homie? Like, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And so your karmic journey has to do with that lesson, and how that kind of energy will impact your abundance could show up in so many ways. Perhaps Spirit will give me insights into that and I will have another reading for you. But at the moment, if you shake me like an 8-ball, my response is going to be come back later. Because I don't know how that's actually going to play out for you. But I just have this very strong intuitive feeling that it is for your blessings that you prayed upon, that you react to this in the way that your highest and greatest self would, in the version that has the things you want, whether that's a family, whether that's a lot of money, right? Money that can really make things happen, okay? Or whether that is being a figure in a community, right? Like you are being initiated into the version of yourself who not only you want to be, but who is doing it, who can actually show up. And it's like, you're almost your practice run of being like, okay, I am that person. Like I'm doing it right now. I'm not only talking about how I want to show up in this way, but I am living it. I am walking the walk. And I see that, all of this situation has the potential to impact people in very big and effective ways. A person who is sitting there attacking you energetically, attacking your character, putting you down, feeling like they have any right to speak on who you are or the things that you love or whatever, this is going to really impact their karma on a long-term level, whether they're aware of it or not. And my bet is that they're very unconscious to all of this. And I'm sorry, if you keep hearing my shoe, it's because I'm moving my foot around in my seat and it is making this awful sound. Anyways, I'm wrapping this up now. So it's also going to have a long-term effect and impact on this person who's being initiated into what I'm seeing is like a much stronger, a person with a stronger voice, a person with a sense of morale, a person who is a protector. And that's something that they prayed for. That's something that they wanted to be. Now, we always talk about this with manifestation. It's like, be very specific because you're going to be initiated into a new version of self who can hold and contain those things. And sometimes when we pray for these different qualities and attributes, we're given real opportunities to see if we can do that or to actually receive those things that we want. So what I'm seeing is that this is all things that is working out in the divine, karmically, for our best interest, but we're just being asked to notice how we act, how we respond, and what energy we give to things, because this is all speaking to our sense of self-worth, right? We may have actually had a lot of goals or wants for our sense of self-worth after that Venus retrograde, right? Because Venus is always speaking to our values, what we want to achieve, what we want to call in, what we want to what we think is desirable, our sense of self-worth, what we think is valuable, what we think has like true material value, but also long lasting emotional, spiritual, beautiful value, right? So this situation right here might be just exactly what you prayed for you to realize, oh, okay, yeah, these types of things I know now are just not worth it, not worth my energy, not worth the energy that I have cultivated intentionally, not my energy, that which is sacred, right? So that is my energy reading for you. I'm wishing you so many blessings. I know that they're right around the corner for you. I'm sending you lots of love in, and I will talk to you soon.